Welcome to the 2024 Economic Depression and Preparation channel. Thank you for joining me on this brief Sunday edition, October 27, 2024. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest interpretation of financial news. I appreciate all of your support. Welcome. We're going to be talking just briefly about what's going to be happening this week with the jobs report, one of the final ones before the big election. And also we're going to be talking about the earnings that's going to be coming out from various companies like Apple, Microsoft, ExxonMobil, and others in the tech industry as well, and how that may impact us later on in the future. Thank you for joining me. Once again, we're getting into U.S. trade tariffs escalating. That will be costly for everybody, IMF Deputy Director says. As you know, there's a big trade war going on, and we're starting to get some manufacturing here of some semiconductor chips and other things that have been going on in the last 2 years. But will it be enough to stop a trade war? If the tariffs get higher on these projects, on these goods and services that we import, China has announced higher temporary tariffs on some imports from the U.S. as a tit-for-tat measures continue. If this escalates, it's going to be very dangerous, because this is going to allow prices to continue to rise for all Americans and all sectors of the economy for goods and services that we need to make things over here in America. So this is not looking good. U.S. and China are trading with one another less, and some parts of their trade is being rerouted through other countries. And this also is going to relate to, ladies and gentlemen, what we see with the BRICS nations, and the BRICS nations trying to form a international currency that's not tied to the U.S. dollar or the U.S. petrodollar. So this all ties into this, and it may not happen this year or in 2 years or in 5 years, but it's coming, that this decoupling of the U.S. dollar. So Apple, Microsoft, ExxonMobil, Chipotle, Eli Lilly, all of these companies and more stocks are going to be to watch this week as we get into, according to Barron's, as we get into the third quarter and earnings here. We're going to the fourth quarter after this review here. This is going to be crucial before the Federal Reserve's November meeting, and this will keep investors busy, okay? So we're going to see companies like AMD, the chip companies, NVIDIA, Apple, Alphabet, McDonald's, PayPal earnings, Pfizer. So it's interesting to see some of these retail stocks like McDonald's here, if they're going to continue to go on a downward slope after the E. coli outbreak and other outbreak here. And we're going to see if that's going to go down. Interesting to see if Pfizer is going to rebound too after all of the healthcare scare. The health scare crisis is starting to wane. How are they going to rebound? And it's interesting to see what these stocks like Caterpillar, some of these building stocks, are they going to continue to be on a downward slide here in the third quarter as well as the tech quarter. So the Federal Reserve meeting, as you know, is coming up November 2nd and 3rd, just before or after the election, just to say rather. And they're going to decide on the final rate cuts for the year. The two meetings decide either they're going to do 2 rate cuts or one rate cut and leave the next one unchanged in December, or just can leave things unchanged on both. That's the decisions that they have to make as we head towards swiftly the end of 2024 here. So the final jobs report before election, likely to see hurricane impact. As you know, we had Francis, we had Helene and Milton, those hurricanes, the impacts on the recovery, and FEMA claiming that they were out of money, running out of money to handle both crises and handle what's to come. So this is going to mask some economic gains, because we had 2 hurricanes, and the Boeing worker strike could influence the jobs report due out November the 1st. So that's coming up soon this week. But it won't change the overall trend of the U.S. economy. So many people, according to the media, they're spinning it as the economy is still growing. It's just not growing at a faster pace as that we would hope, because of all these shocks to the system, if you want to call it, outside their control. But the bottom line is that inflation is here to stay. You and I know that. Real inflation right now is at 12%. The inflation that they give to us, they're saying, is at 3%, 4%, but that's not the case, as we can continue to see. And jobs are not growing. We're not getting the job openings that we had in the past, and that's going to be a big problem for this economy here as we head deeper and deeper into this election season. So let me know what you think. Do you think the jobs numbers are doctored? Do you think they're fake? Do you think they're partially true or partially fake? And do you think we're going to be able to rebound in the next 4 years, regardless of who wins this election, to turn this American ship around before things go into a deep, severe recession? Let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you for listening. I'll talk to you in the next episode, and God bless.